Okay. So, welcome to good evening, good afternoon, and good morning to everybody. Myself is Harshit Chaurasia, your today's host. So, I'm going to share something about simplifying the use of MyIntealth platform for your residency match 2026. Recently, the MyIntealth platform has transited from ECFMG to MyIntealth, and entire services that has been offered by ECFMG has been forwarded to the MyIntealth platform, and that is making us more smooth transition between what we earlier did versus what we'll be going to do in future. So MyIntealth is nothing, it is just a platform making us, it is, you can say, the simplified version of your ECFMG. Okay. So whenever we talk about ECFMG, the one thing that comes around is the USMLE ID. So those students who already have USMLE ID is considered as an existing student. Okay. So those are already an existing student. They not need to re-register themselves under. So those are the new students, might be the med school students or they are the graduate, they are planning to appear their USMLE. Especially those ones will be having a coming months of USMLE examination. They have not scheduled, even not yet applied for USMLE ID. They are considered as a new applicant. Okay. So those are the new applicants. They have to create their entire application. And those are the existing applicant. They need to find their application. Okay. So how it can be done, what can be the process and how to move forward, that all I'll be going to explain in a couple of minutes. So before we jump into it, what exactly the usage of MyIntealth in USMLE and the ECFMG is? Basically all the services related to IWA, OSS, and the EPIC that has been now transferred into the MyIntealth as we had discussed. Whatever the payments regarding your Form 116 or your Form 186 or related to other applications, okay, regarding the name change or the photo change or anything that can be done, and the payments can be done directly through the MyIntealth platform. Whatever the documentation, whenever it comes to documentation, the criticality comes, that is, for example, if we talk about notary cam. So notary cam, the challenge that we had earlier faced out is ke will not be able to get the appointments, and lot of times the response time is very late, and whenever the response time happened, then in that case majority of the time we need to wait ourselves and wait for the notary cam person to move forward, and that is all going to have a problematic documentation part that is now going to be systematic through the MyIntealth platform. All the documentation will be mostly electronic format, so that from one region, from one destination to another can be practically and feasibly transferred. When it comes to ECFMG certificate, so ECFMG certification is a process. If you are a student or a graduate who is already done with USMLE step 1 plus step 2 CK plus OET along with your medical degree. So if you are done with your step 1, step 2 CK, OET and your MD degree, you are entitled to apply for an ECFMG certificate. Now to get an ECFMG certificate, there is something called as a pathway. There are certain pathways that has been defined by the government as per the individual candidate. For example, Harshit is one of the candidate. He graduated from GMERS Vadodara. So once he graduated from GMC Vadodara, he needs to find what kind of a candidate he is and what all the policies he comes under, which pathway. So there is 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6. If you are anyone who is having a license to practice, those are already having a unrestricted. One is called restricted license, called as a temporary license. Another one is called a unrestricted license. So those are having an unrestricted license. They can apply for pathway 1. Like I myself graduated from, let's say, GMC Baroda. So my license has been granted by the Gujarat Medical Council, and the Gujarat Medical Council has been providing me one letter called as good standing. That good standing is letter is my first basic need to apply for my pathway 1. Other pathways are defined for different bodies like LCME board, DO board, and other ones. The pathway 6 is basically a special pathway for those candidates who does not have a unrestricted license. Point number 1. Point number 2, they also not have a step 2 CS examination result, which is currently suspended. So obviously all the students don't have their CS results. So there is something called as a clinical evaluation exam, that is called CX mini. This is something called as a simulated exam. What you need to do is you need to find a 5 year experience, not experience, basically 5 year registered unregistered licensure physician who is entitled to practice independently. Point number 1. Point number 2, you need to get a authorized letter from that person that you have successfully encountered 20 patients under his supervision, and he'll be the whole and soul going to take your charge, and that entire documentation goes to the MyIntealth, and that will be first verified. First they verify the physician, the record, and then they verify your CX mini, what evaluation you have done. If it verifies and if it complies under the entire guidelines, then you will be considered a part of pathway 6, that is mini, CX mini. If you are an Indian student, 99.9% case comes to pathway 1 only. Okay, because we will get a license based on our MBBS, and we are simply secured to apply for the pathway 1. But make sure that you must have your good standing letter with you on and before applying to your pathway. Okay. Now here is the how I can access. So instead of showing into the presentation, I want you to dive into the user guide that has been given by the MyIntealth, and the entire disclaimer and the entire credit goes to MyIntealth only. This is just a webinar that will be helping you to summarize the entire process and making it fine-tuned for the USMLE aspirant, especially for the Match 2026. So this is the MyIntealth user guide. Okay, since it's a new transition, just we all know yesterday onwards the entire system has been started. So it will take a couple of time as it's a technology. The transition from one phase to another phase takes time. So this is the content and the context line of it. I'll be directly jumping to an existing user because most of you are already an existing user. You already have your USMLE ID. Kindly say yes or no if you already have your USMLE ID. A quick chat. All right, Vrinda, Ishan, Dinky, anyone else? Like there are a lot of people. Uh, Neil Patel, right? Rushalish, Shamir Khan, thank you. Okay, okay. Other ones? Anyone is there who is not having a USMLE ID? So that I'll explain the first new applicant process. A quick answer. Okay, I think there is no one who is not having an ID. So let's jump to the direct process. So I hope you can see my screen well. Okay. So access to the MyIntealth account as a previous user of ECFMG online services. Okay. So simply what you need to do is you need to simply go to the MyIntealth app. I'll be showing in the on the second line. Okay. And there this type of screen will come. This is the first section, MyIntealth app applicant portal. Just click on that, access MyIntealth and log in here. So when you say login, I don't think so you do have your email ID and the password right now with you. So what you need to do is you need to simply click on that don't have MyIntealth account. Okay, when you click on you don't have an Intel account, however you have, so you simply need to verify your email address and record. So first basic step comes is you need to send an email ID here for a verification code. Make sure the email ID that you use, that is an old email that time when you registered for the USMLE ID to generate the USMLE ID. So simply record this email ID and send. Once you submit, later on, you'll get a verification account. So verify your code. Post verification, you will be able to claim your account. So here as you can see, this is the MyIntealth app. Simply go to MyIntealth applicant portal. So when you click on MyIntealth applicant portal, then you have to access email. Now you'll get this type of platform. Then you need to add, you don't have MyIntealth account. Now you need to verify your record here. So just type up your email ID over there, send a verification code. Once you send your verification code, you will come to this. If you have your USMLE ID registered with the same email ID, if your account is already registered with the same email ID, you will get this page, claim account. Simply claim account through adding a new password. Once you add your new password, okay, there are certain requirements you can see over there. One uppercase, lowercase, numbers and symbols. That's all. So then you can simply claim your account, submit to the next button. When you complete submit to the next button, then you'll be able to get a attestation page. So attestation and terms and policy you need to approve, read and submit, accept it. Once you accept, then you simply finally click on the next button. Okay, now the proven residency address page will appear and you need to confirm that address. Okay, your MyIntealth ID will be shown over there and your proven address you need to submit. And once you submit, you will be having your final account created. Now, the biggest question that might comes in front of you is provide current address of residence. So when I say current residence of address, it may be my hostel. It may be the one which I added over my passport, right? So it can be anything. And it is subjectly very depending on you only. So anything and whenever the communication through any post or any documentation comes to you, that will be on your current email, current address of residence. Okay. Okay, now, so once your account has been done, then you'll be getting an opportunity to begin your application. If you already have your steps done, so you can simply check out your results as well. And moving forward, your application step, especially for those Match 2026 applicant, you must have to move forward to your application for 2020 pathway and the pathway revalidation. When I say revalidation, revalidation stands for those candidates who already have a pathway 2025. So they need to revalidate it to be eligible for pathway 2026.